Toby Fox is on a roll here. The 5th chapter of Deltarune got suddenly and rather unceremoniously announced and only a short while later released. I still remember when the 1st chapter similarly sneakily released one Halloween night so long ago. Suddenly we had more to play from the guy who created Undertale. A new game that still felt very similar, that actually played with the expectations of everyone who had played the previous game. A short little self-contained story that appeared classic enough, but then hit us with a twist at the end. And the promise of more to come. And then Toby Fox's immediate statement that sounded almost like an apology, where he explained how the scope of this new project was way too big for him to finish on his own, but that he also wasn't very good at working with a team, maybe because he couldn't really share the work or give up creative control. So, more likely than not, this new game would never see the light of day in its entirety. And yet, here we are now, with another chapter released a year after the last 2 chapters. It actually looks pretty good for the game. We might actually get the complete package, maybe in 2 or 3 years. So, hello there, Gamerinos and Gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm, this is Rady, and today I'm gonna take a look at Deltarune Chapter 5. This new chapter follows a similar formula to, well, all the others. We get to explore the light world for a bit, so the town where the main character lives, mingle with their friends and neighbors, listen to some silly banter, well, read it, since this game has no voice acting.
It's me, Flowery.
Try to continue the weird route, which I haven't even started as of yet. Don't know, I think I want to complete the game the normal way first before committing to the B-side run. And once you've done and seen everything, or just want to get on with the story, you enter the Dark World, where the main portion of the chapter takes place, where you go on another grand adventure, fight bad guys and achieve some epic shit. In that aspect, the game is more Deltarune, or I guess more Toby Fox. It very much follows the blueprint laid out by Undertale. But there's more to this new chapter, to be fair, to the whole of Deltarune. We have come to a point where Toby Fox goes out of his way to provide a distinct new experience with every new chapter. We started with a pretty straightforward sequel to Undertale with the first 2 chapters, just more refined. That has now grown way out of proportion for a sequel, for an episodic release, for a low-bit JRPG. This game is so full of ambition. It's like Toby Fox is determined to make this an experience we don't forget. Ever. As I said, Chapter 1 and 2 were, all things considered, rather straightforward as a successor to Undertale, even though it played around with players' expectations a bit. But by Chapter 3, the game took on a new form. It went all out on the minigames, with so many different things to do, a Guitar Hero clone, a silly horde defense mode, a Zelda-style video game within the game, and a whole bunch of microgames. Chapter 4 went back to more traditional dungeon crawling, but added a climbing mechanic that not just offered some neat visuals, but also new and complex movement challenges. And now we have the 5th chapter, that brought back everything we've grown familiar with and expanded on it. The varied and creative environments, the many puzzles and minigames, the quirky characters that are so damn intriguing and always hide a deeper facet, the inventive battles and non-battles. We get all of that. And now, in addition to all that, the game became a whole-ass platformer. By interacting with certain objects, the world slightly tilts to the back, and now you jump and run through the side-scrolling game world, swing your sword around to slice up foes and either avoid the turn-based fights or defeat the baddies outright. And you utilize your companions for more platforming challenges. In addition, this chapter might have the most references and throwbacks to Undertale of all, at least as far as I can tell. It is centered around Asgore, who's your dad in Deltarune, but was a major character and boss from Undertale. We even get to hear his theme. The antagonists / misunderstood soon to become allies are his 7 flowers, all in the colors of the souls from Undertale, and equipped with the same signature moves and symbols. And all of them pretend to be humans, whereas in Undertale it was human souls. And the leader of the antagonists is Flowery, obviously referring to Flowey, the main antagonist of Undertale. And while he has a different personality, the way he's behaving is very similar, with him scheming, telling half-truths, deceiving you and others, but there's more to it, something deeper. He's not just manipulating others for the sake of it. And he somewhat mirrors the player in Undertale in his own boss fight. There's a lot more than that, and a lot more I haven't found, on my own or otherwise. But this is just the Undertale stuff, the fan service and theory crafter bait. But there's also other throwbacks in here. This chapter harkens back to the first chapter, with a similar forest, even a similar name for the stage. Similar music, but now in a smooth, jazzy version. Actually, that one's pretty neat, as it started as a fan cover that officially became part of the soundtrack. So I guess some good can come out of this fandom. You encounter some of the first chapter's puzzles, references to some encounters, but soon the chapter expands on these and throws in variations and new challenges. And soon enough the chapter carves out its own identity, with the back and forth between the two gameplay styles and a very Japanese aesthetic, by which I don't mean the typical anime aesthetic Toby Fox tends to employ, but actual Japanese aesthetic. Starting with the music, the melodies and the choice of instruments. And of course, the broader visual theme, with traditional Japanese temples and castles, with the cherry trees, with ninja stag beetles, so 2 references for the price of 1. But it's not just the iconography, but the whole graphical style. The environments emulate the style of traditional Japanese painting or woodblock prints. It puts Toby Fox's established art design for dungeons to good use. And it's once again full of care and little details, like when the character's sprites have a yellow outline simulating backlighting from the slowly setting sun, or how hair and clothes swing in the wind. This is some extra work and effort to the sprite work that the devs didn't need to put in. Every moment in this game is once again such a joy to behold. The music is amazing, the set pieces either fun or funny, and sometimes even pretty darn epic. Combat is as fun as ever, with the trademark puzzle tactics and shmup light gameplay that gets turned up to 11 with the bosses, especially the chapter's secret boss that kinda is by itself one vertical slice of all of Toby Fox's work. You get charming characters and conversations if you enjoy Toby Fox's writing style, which I do, a lot. But I can see how some people might be turned off by it. The dungeons offer some good variety, a few brain teasers with the puzzles, so yeah, I'm really happy with this new chapter. With that said, for my liking, it put too much focus on Susie's romance. The love interest itself is awkward and cute about it, and that's fine. But Susie is into it too much, which takes her in a direction I'm not all that fond of. She's that rude, quick to anger, biker chick type. Of course she slowly changes over the course of these ordeals and trials and triumphs, through her friendship with Chris and Ralsei, and we get more insight into her character. It's one of the major themes. She has a warm heart underneath a hard and spiky outer shell, and she does the right thing when it's called for. And she truly cares for those close to her, she just doesn't always know how to express it. But the day before this chapter, she didn't even understand what being friendly with someone, let alone romantic, would entail, or would even look like. She was completely oblivious to social cues. And now she's preparing for her date, getting a custom-made dress, getting flowers, getting tips in the art of love. She's not a completely different character. A lot of what made her who she is still there. She's still overall pretty well written. But these moments stuck out to me and were a few too many. Especially with everyone in the world, both worlds, going out of their way to support her. And her whole resolution in that chapter left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't really like this direction. Maybe that's the point the game wants to make, that she doesn't understand, that she's overcorrecting, trading her hard-ass facade for an equally self-destructive behavior in fully leaning into a toxic fantasy. And if that's the case, then I'd say, well done, Mr. Annoying Dog, you evoked exactly the feelings in me that I should feel about all this. It's hard to tell nowadays, because a lot of stories play these things straight, actually support messages like this. But maybe I should just trust in the storytelling of a man who has given me so many great stories already, big and small. I mean, I am fully on board with the themes and messages of Undertale, and with Deltarune so far. So yeah, why not go about this positively? And the story is pretty intriguing. I'm stoked for what is going to happen. Only 2 more chapters and the stakes are rising, the plot is thickening. Many connections begin to make sense and there's still so many more mysteries to untangle. If you haven't tried out Deltarune until now, there's already enough in here to make it worth your while, but I get if you want to wait until the game is complete. Though, each chapter tells a complete story inside the overarching narrative, so you get at least some closure with every chapter. And these self-contained stories are worth it on their own already. So yeah, once again, a warm, even red-hot recommendation from me. And with that, I'm off. I wish you a joyful day, this has been Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.